All right, Shalom. This is Yaquab with the GMS Dallas Camp. First off, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakadash. All right, double honors to the apostles and elders, Grand Millstone, with teaching rule well, and peace and blessings to the Akim, scattered throughout the four corners, keeping his word in truth and sincerity. So I'm just going to go into, a quick topic, going into Matthew the 22nd chapter. I'm not going to go into the whole chapter. I'm going to jump around and make a few points. Because we understand that this goes into the marriage between Yahushua and the nation of Israel. Right? So I'll go ahead and get to it. It says Matthew 22:1, it says, "And Yahushua answered and spake unto them again by parables, and said, The kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king, which made a marriage for his son." So we know those parables is that that secret way of speaking or talking in riddles. Because like it said in Matthew the 13th chapter, the disciples asked Yahushua, why speakest thou unto them in parables? Talking about the rest of the nation. And Yahushua said, because it is given unto you to understand the mysteries under the kingdom of heaven. So that's why Yahushua spoke in parables, because it's not meant for everybody to get this truth. Like it says in Isaiah the 6th chapter. Make their ears fat, that they may not hear. The eyes, cover their eyes so they won't see, lest they be converted and healed. Because the Most High don't want them to get it, So anyways, I'll read verse 2 again. It says, "The kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king, which made a marriage for his son." Right? The kingdom of heaven being the kingdom, right? And then the king being the Most High, Yahweh, which made a marriage for his son, which his son is Yahushua. And that marriage is a reconciliation between us, or us being married unto Yahushua. It's like us, the Most High, in the ancient world, what I'm saying. Or for example, you had Abraham send a servant out to find a bride for his son Isaac amongst his own kin. So think about it like that. The same thing, which made a marriage for his son, which is what Abraham did. So verse 3, it says, "And sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding, and they would not come." So his servants being the men of the Lord, going out to the highways and byways, preaching this truth, proclaiming the righteousness of the Most High. Those are the servants going out and bidding these people to the wedding. So just like we do when we go out there, we're out downtown, reading out the Bible, telling these people that the Most High is going to destroy this place, the judgment of the Lord, the day of the Lord, and then all those things. So like verse 4, it says, "Again he sent forth other servants, saying, Tell them which are bidden, Behold, I have prepared my dinner, my oxen and my fatlings are killed, all things are ready, come unto the marriage." So this marriage is already prepared. It's ready to be, for it to take fold. So he sent his servants out into the highways and byways to tell these people these things. Hey, the marriage of Israel is ready, right? So it says verse 5, "But they made light of it and went their ways, one to his farm, another to his merchandise." It's just like people that be walking by today. The people passing by, they don't really pay mind to us, thinking we crazy. They out there on Friday night, going to the bars, getting drunk, doing whatever the hell they want to do, but they completely ignore us. So like it says, in order to his merchandise. So whatever these people are, whatever business that they have focused on, that's what they're gonna go. It says verse 6, and the remnant took his servants and then treated them spitefully and slew them. So that's happened throughout the history of the prophets, man. Some prophets were sent out there to preach the downfall of that nation during their time, and they get put to death, man. Some of them got put to death. Just like it's prophesied that it would happen here in America as well. It says verse 7. But when the king heard thereof, he was wroth, and he sent forth his armies and destroyed those murderers and burned up their city. Then said he to his servants, the wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy. So that reminds me of Matthew. I think. Here, let me see. I'll go to it. It's like, give me 1 second. Pretty much going into the Most High separating the goats from the sheep. Also going into separating the wheat from the chaff. Pretty much Most High gathering, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua gathering the wheat into his barner, and the chaff being burnt thereof. The wheat representing his elect, and then the chaff being the rest of the nation of Israel, the wicked, the 2/3, and these other nations. All right. Man, let me just look it up. Okay, yeah, it was chapter 3, Salaki. It says, whose fan is in his hand, and he will thoroughly purge his floor and gather his wheat into the garner, but he will burn the chaff thereof with unquenchable fire. You know what I'm saying? So the Most High is going to burn these, that chaff, being these 2/3 and the rest of the world, and that wheat gathering up in his gardener represents the elect's salvation. So like we was reading in Matthew 22, it says that he sent forth his arms and destroyed those murderers and burned up their city. And then he said to his servants, the wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy, man. So, all these other, wicked, Israelites, these 2/3, man. You might have some that might come into the truth and then fall out, or even these other camps that proclaim that they have the truth, but they wicked. What I'm saying? They're bidden to the wedding, but they're not worthy. And it says, verse 9, go ye therefore into the highways, as many as you shall find, bid to the marriage, man. So that's why it says that in Proverbs, the 1st chapter. The wisdom cry without. What I'm saying? Isaiah 58 and 1. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet. So it says, verse 10, so those servants went out into the highways and gathered together all as many as they found, both good and bad, and the wedding was furnished with guests. So that pretty much goes into the different the different manners, or the type of people that will be found worthy. What I'm saying? So pretty much, for example, you got different brothers that are sincere about this truth, and they are in it, and they come from different walks of life. What I'm saying? Some brothers might have converted over from Christianity, tried to live their life as a so-called good person, And then you have other brothers that weren't into that. You know, maybe they was, drug dealers, or you know just wicked, in general. But they, when they heard this truth, man, they left those things behind, the good and the bad. You know what I'm saying? And then it says, so yeah, the wedding was furnished with guests, pretty much, that, everybody that was been worthy, was there. Verse 11, it says, and when the king came into the see the guest, he saw there a man which had not a wedding garment. And he said unto him, Friend, how camest thou in hither not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless. So, that just goes into somebody that doesn't have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. You know what I'm saying? The protection and the raiment, the spiritual raiment of the Most High, man, of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So that goes into Isaiah 2:1. It says, Awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion, put on thy beautiful garments, O Jerusalem, the holy city, for henceforth shall no more come unto thee on the uncircumcised and the unclean. Because being, going into the, being uncircumcised was, you pretty much being, like it says, unclean. But I wanted to get that word, strength. Also, strength. Isaiah. So it says, might, strength, material. Oh no, it's like not strength. Was it strength? Maybe I got slack. I think I'm getting the wrong one here. Put on thy strength, O Zion. Put on. Okay, it probably wasn't this one, but yeah, put on thy garments, put on thy strength, which, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is our strength. Yahweh Shem Yahushai being our strength, and put on thy beautiful garments, So that's why when that man was found in Matthew 22 without that garment, he was kicked out because he didn't have the truth. He didn't have the covering of the Most High, man. That he's a intruder. He wasn't bidden to the wedding. So what he says, verse 11, and when the king came in to see the guest, he saw there a man which had not a wedding garment. He didn't belong there. He wasn't supposed to be there. It says, verse 12, and he said unto him, Friend, how comest thou in hither not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless. Then said the king to the servants, Bind him hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth, man. So he was going to be put out like that chaff, man. The wheat is put in the garner, but he's going to be out there with the chaff. Like it says in verse 14, for many are called, but few are chosen. You know what I'm saying? You could be, there's people out there in the highways and byways that'll come along and they'll say, man, you know what, you guys are saying the right thing, you know what I'm saying, but you don't fully commit. Or you might have brothers come in and then they eventually fall out, man. They weren't worthy. And I'll get this one in John, just to show you that man that came out not wearing that wedding garment came up another way. And like Yahushua said, man, if you don't come in through the door, You're as a thief, right? Okay, yeah. It says John 10:1. It says, "Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber," man. So that man that came up into the wedding not wearing a wedding garment, the dude probably climbed the wall, you know, had to climb the vines going through the side or something, wearing his average everyday peasant clothing. You know what I'm saying? Came up in there thinking that he could feast, have some of that feast, not knowing that he was gonna get caught. You know, that's why he said, hey friend, why you up in here not wearing a wedding garment, man? There's a dress code. You know what I'm saying? There's a spiritual dress code, just like in you know what I'm saying? Like when you come up to be a part of this thing, man. Having your garment on is accepting and the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai and leaving this world behind, man. So if you don't fully commit, you're not, you don't have that garment, man. You weren't bidden to the wedding. You didn't get that invitation, And it says, but he that entereth in by the door in the shepherd, but he that entereth in by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. To him the porter openeth, and the sheep hear his voice, and he calleth his own sheep by name and leadeth them out. So that dude not wearing the wedding garment didn't come in through the door, man, or through the like it says, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold. Like I said, man, he climbed up through the wall, jumped the fence, whatever, but he didn't come in he didn't come in the way he was supposed to. So he's as a thief. What do you do with a thief, man? You if thief try and break in your house, man, what you gonna do, man? You gonna protect your house, your family, whatever, man. You got a gun, you shoot them. You know what I'm saying? You put them to death. That's how it is, man. So just going back, let's go back to Matthew. Just make sure I got everything on that one. Yeah, so like it says in Matthew 22:13, it says, "Then said the king to the servants, bind him hand and foot, and take him away and cast him into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth," man. So that's the end result. Them being put out into utter darkness and receiving that judgment of the Most High, man. Whether it be, you being put to death, or you being put, you receiving them missiles, man. That fire. But yeah, that's pretty much the point I wanted to make. I'm saying? Pretty much, the Most High sending out his servants in the world, preaching truth, bidding those that are worried to the wedding, and ultimately representing the marriage between Yahushua and the nation of Israel, and the kingdom being established, but yeah, Lord willing, that makes sense, so with that, I want to say Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yosher Barakah, Shalom.